Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to look at the impact Arise Academy has made in the lives of the IDP children. Okay, looking back at the statistics UNICEF has concerning the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria, their data shows that 18.5 million children are out of school in Nigeria currently. And out of this 18.5, 10.2 million of these children are found in the primary school level. 8.1 million of these children are found in the junior secondary school age level. Remember, they are meant to be in these particular classes, but they are not in school. That's why we call them out of school kids, out of school children. And then the remaining 0.2 million is actually found amidst those children that are meant to be in the senior secondary and the tertiary institutions who are not in school currently. So we're going to look at today the things we can do, or how Arise Academy has affected a good number of these children who are not in school. Now, let's look at the factors that have contributed to these children not being in school. What are these factors? Basically, number one, we all should know, is poverty. Poverty has contributed to the high rate and high number of children not being in school. And this is as a result of the inflation, high level of inflation, high rate of inflation that Nigeria is currently going through. A lot of children, their parents don't even have much to feed them. Some of them, their schools are far away from where they live, and owing to the fact that the cost of transportation has become so high in Nigeria currently. You can see that in a year, the cost of fuel per liter has been reviewed about 4 or 5 times since this year, 2024. And this has a direct impact on the food that is being sold in the market. So many parents can't even afford basically 3 square meals for their children. They struggle to feed these children, how much more sending them to school. And don't forget that when the cost of things in the market are high, it has a direct impact on other things, including the educational materials too, the learning materials. So it has made learning to become a secondary thing in most families. Families now think of how to feed their children first before thinking of how to send them to school. So this has become a major factor that has contributed to the high rate of number of out-of-school children being on the increase in Nigeria. The second factor that has contributed to the high rate and high level of out-of-school children in Nigeria is a social-cultural factor, which all of us we are familiar with this. I guess we're all familiar with this because there are some cultures that have seen it that especially the girl child is not meant to be in school, should be in the house learning what we call informal education, how to cook, how to clean the home, how to go to farm, how to be a good mother someday. So owing to the fact that most families have seen it that these children, when you trade them, they'll get married, and at the end of the day they don't gain anything. They find it difficult to send them to school, seeing it as a waste of fun. And I believe that with continuous enlightenment, a lot of this and westernization, this is fizzling away. Okay, but it's still practiced in so many homes and cultures in Nigeria. That's the second factor. The third factor is what we are also familiar with: early marriage, what we call the child marriage. Okay, a lot of children, especially in some religions, are being married out at an early age. And you know that when a child is married out at an early age, that child's future is already truncated. Because when a child is married out, the next thing is
The child will start thinking, especially it's the girl child that is most affected in this, will start thinking on how to start giving birth to children and raising children. That child's life is almost gone. And before the child will come out of that stage and start thinking of going to school, it would have become so late. So early child marriage is also a factor. And I come to the last factor, which forms the basis of our discussion today, and that is the conflict and insecurity factor, which we know that some states in the northeastern part of Nigeria, currently the northwestern part is also affected also right now as I'm talking to you, okay, are going through conflicts and insecurity, and part of this is the insurgency that is coming from the Boko Haram crisis. And I heard of the Northwest going through Lukarawa crisis right now. So once there are crises like this in the north, the Boko Haram, Lukarawa, ISIS, ISIL, ISWAP, whatever you call them, herdsmen, banditry, kidnapping, and a whole lot of them, it affects the level and the rate of the number of children that go to school. So parents will prefer to keep their kids at home and keep seeing them on a daily basis, other than allowing them to go to school, and from school they get abducted, like the one that happened several years back around 2014, the Chibok girls crisis, and a lot of other kids, including the one that happened in Katsina State too, where kids were abducted from their school. It also happens in Kaduna, and a lot of states in the northern region are encountering this. So based on this, so many parents are not sending their children to school. And then insecurity has destabilized activities, economic activities, social activities, and educational activities in the northeastern part of Nigeria, owing to the fact that Boko Haram keeps attacking these communities. If you go to some of these places, you find out that even the schools, government-owned schools, are non-operational. They are not operating because it's not safe for the children to go to school. It's not safe for the teachers to go to school and teach. It's not also safe for parents and residents and community members to live in these communities, because their communities are basically not safe. I think this has contributed to a high level of number of out of school children in Nigeria. And owing to this fact, we've had people who have left where they are leaving their communities and relocating to new communities. We call them the internally displaced persons, the IDPs. Internally displaced means that they are refugees in their own nation. So they are internally displaced. And currently we have them moving from Borno State, Adamawa State, and other states from that side down to places like Abuja. Okay? And this is where key players, stakeholders like Africa Arise and some other educational charity organizations have come up to assist in helping these children go to school. Remember, we told a story of how Africa Arise got to the camp in New Kuchingoro IDP camp in 2019. And when we met people like Mr. Luka, Miss Hanatu, and we asked them, basically, Miss Hanatu, what do you want Africa Arise to do for these children, to do for you as a person? They did not ask for good homes and houses, because they were living in ramshackle homes made out of bags. They did not ask for homes. They did not ask for palliative food to eat. They didn't ask for money to set up businesses for them. The only thing they asked Africa Arise to do for them was to help teach their children. And today, Africa Arise, when we got to the school, the one we started helping to pay stipends to the teachers to enable them teach these children, we found out that a lot of children in 2019 who couldn't tell their path, who didn't know what the future held for them, they couldn't tell which career, what they wanted to be, which career of choice they would love to embark on in the future. But because Africa Rise stepped in and we started, encouraging the teachers in every means possible, including paying their stipends, we realized that these children gained a path, a future. They gained a future. If you go there today at the new Kuchingoro IDP camp, go to the Sharing Prosperity School, there you find children who could tell you, now I want to be a teacher, I want to be a banker, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor. These children have gained a hope. They now have a hope for a brighter future, and they now have belief in themselves, in what that they could become somebody, problem solvers in Nigeria tomorrow. Now, going to Durumi IDP camp, getting to Durumi is basically, like we've always said, made up of 80% Muslims and 20% Christians. The reverse is what we see in the new Kuchingoro IDP camp. Now, when we got to Durumi, it was not easy for us to start up a school, a Rise Academy school at the Durumi IDP camp. We faced a lot of resistance, but currently we eventually got a pass to start the school in Durumi in February 2022, to be precise. And we started with only 30 children. And these children that came to school as at that time had not been to the four walls of a school. I could remember people like Yusuf and the sister Binta, who couldn't express themselves in English. They couldn't read, they couldn't write. But as time went on, Binta and Yusuf started writing, amongst so many of them. Currently, the school is teaching and managing over 230 students, pupils and students in that place. A lot of them who came, like Yusuf and Binta, like James, the young James that came, that joined the school this term, came crying, came destabilized, came shy, intimidated, because he has never been to school before. But with love, encouragement, patience, and understanding, today, James that came he couldn't express himself he couldn't read, he couldn't write, he was timid, he was shy, he was intimidated by others who could read and write, he has found joy in coming to school, and he has started reading, and he has started writing. So it is amazing what stakeholders who are basically into charity, rendering education based on charity, can do by salvaging the economy, salvaging a nation, salvaging a country, by offering basic education to children. Okay, the question becomes, what can we do to help, to assist? I think number one, basically, everybody will say the government should. I've heard a lot of people talk about government funding for education, but what has been done with the funds released for education so far? So every time it keeps coming up, poor funding. If we utilize the little that is given to us in terms of education, I think there will be a tremendous improvement in the educational sector. So let us leave the government aside. I want to implore good-spirited individuals. I want to implore private entities, private organizations. I know that from time to time we do engage in charity. Could you just a little while look into these stakeholders who are into providing free education based on charity for these less privileged children of the society? Turn a little eye to them from time to time and assist them, encourage them. Like Africa Rise, we are all out to help educate as much children as we can in Nigeria. As more children who don't have the resources, the wherewithal, their parents don't have what it takes to send them to school. We are not hesitant in sending this, making it conducive for these children to learn and to go to school. So we need you to encourage us. We need you to encourage us. You can partner with us. You can in any way you can, just partner with us and support this effort. We have other stakeholders in this field who want to help educate these children. I will always say, if you educate a child, you have ended up educating a nation, because in a child lies a nation. In a child lies the development that we seek for. Because a child that is educated today is embodied with talents, with giftings, with potentials that we may need in the future to save and salvage our nation. Help might not come from above like we're looking for. The help we're looking for might be coming right beneath us. Right, it might be right with us in our midst. But if we neglect the education of these children, we are simply grooming and incubating a future time bomb. A future time bomb that might be disastrous. So I will encourage us today to partner with Africa Rise, partner with our Rise Academy, and let us salvage our future by saving the lives of these children in the area of education. If you like what we are doing, probably this is your first time of being on this page, viewing us on this page, I would love you to click on the like button and subscribe to this page, supporting us in any way you wish.